Hi guys, how's it going? Caitlin here and welcome to my kitchen for another week of meal prep. I hope that you're excited. On this week's menu we have Marry Me Gnocchi, strawberry spinach salad, and a stuffed pepper skillet. So if that sounds good to you, be sure to grab your prep list. If you don't have that, check the description in this video. You'll find a link. It'll bring you to everything that you need to make this week smooth sailing, okay? There are 3 varying levels of prep depending on your time restraints and your level of motivation today. However, if you do want to get the time to table results that you see in the meal plan, you're going to want to go all the way with me to level 3, okay? So I'm actually going to start with some things that are on level 3 because level 3 is things that do itself while you're doing other things, and that's how we magically gain time back throughout the week. So I'm going to do a couple things here. You can do them in any, you can cook them in any method that you want to. I'm going to cook some bacon, I'm going to boil some eggs, and I am also going to cook some rice. Now, I choose as many hands-off methods for cooking everything as I can. I'm going to let the dog out apparently. Which means I'll probably be letting her back in about 48 seconds. I find it's like her spring ritual. It's like she wants to go out, she wants to come back in. She wants to go out, she wants to come back in, because it looks like it's getting nice, but then it's actually still cold. So she's, well, you know, a little bit of a princess. So she wants to be out enjoying the weather, and then she's like, it's actually cold out here. I want to go in and warm up. Comes in, warms her paws, wants to go out again, and the cycle just continues. It's much easier in the summer, because then she just wants to go lay outside and sunbathe. But best thing we ever did was fence in the backyard. So much easier for just being able to, you know, let the dog out, not have to supervise anything. Kids go out and play, open a window. That sounds bad. No, I promise they are like, you know, supervised. You can hear them. You can hear the happy sounds. And they're just in the backyard. So I like to cook my bacon on a bar pan. It is just the easiest way to cook it. Very no fuss. Put it in. I don't even flip it. It just does its thing, and it does it well. If you don't want to cook a whole pack of bacon, because you don't need a whole pack of bacon, you need like 4 or 5 pieces of bacon, then you can always cook up your bacon and then freeze it for another day. That way you have extra work done, which is just always a good idea. Or you can, say, take out a few pieces of bacon and put them in freezer safe bags or containers. Portion it out so that you have just a few slices you can pick out to cook with on another day. Or you can just cook up the whole thing and figure your family's going to eat it all anyway. That's my life. Because the kid, between my husband and my second born, they would just eat bacon every day. Would it be a great idea for them? No. Doesn't mean they wouldn't do it. Okay, so gonna get the rice ready to cook. I'm doing mine in the microwave. I got a microwave rice cooker. It's quick, it's efficient, which is music to my ears. So, just gonna put some rice in here, give it a rinse, throw some water in there, and chuck it in the microwave. If I chuck it in the microwave, I do mean I'm going to put water in with the rice too, of course. I hope that's obvious. I don't want to like give bad advice and then have you like you know, burn some rice in the microwave. Okay, there we go. So, rice on its way, getting the things done. I'm going to put some eggs in foil. Once again, I like doing things hands off, so I'm doing it in the pressure cooker. If you've never done eggs and you have in a pressure cooker and you have a pressure cooker, give it a try. They're the easiest to peel eggs that you'll ever have. It just comes right off. Like my 1-year-old peels eggs. It's a little bit of magic. Okay, now we've got level 3, like, you know, doing itself. All of the things literally in level 3 are doing themselves right now. So then we can go back to level 1 and do the things there. Exciting, right? So you don't need all of the fancy kitchen toys to do prep. Like I said, you can cook these things in any way that you want. I am grateful for the kitchen toys that I do have, and one of the reasons for that is sometimes I have bad days. I have days where I'm not all that. So I'm gonna thinly slice some red onion here. I have days that I'm not always like super functional, which if you have any chronic conditions, that might sound familiar to you. If it sounds familiar to you, I am very sorry. If it doesn't sound familiar to you, that's awesome. But having the toys that look optional are often the difference between having supper on the table and not, because I'm not always that capable. So next up, taking out my, speaking of things that make me more capable, my food processor is called the Twist and Chop. I'm going to put my 3 peppers in it and also the other half of my onion. This food processor, it differs from other food processors because the blade rotates up and down. So that makes it maximum efficiency. Instead of having over-processed food at the bottom, under-processed food at the top, you end up with very evenly and efficiently processed food, which is lovely. It's also dishwasher safe, so everything except for the base, because you know you don't want to put anything that has a plug in it in the dishwasher. That is just a good rule of thumb in life. If it has a plug, don't put it in the dishwasher. And it will say to slice the peppers on the meal plan. I'm chopping them all up really small. Reason for that is I gotta hide it from my kids, guys. It's all getting chopped. My kids will eat veggies. I often have to hide the veggies. So I think it's a good compromise. They're getting the nutrients. I'm still getting the flavors. So, cooking the rice is going to make putting the pepper skillet together a lot faster. It also is giving us some options, because I do have a kind of a grain-free version of the stuffed pepper skillet where you can stuff it inside a sweet potato. Me and my husband are going to stuff a sweet potato. The kids are going to have it with rice, because that is just going to be a way that it's going to go better for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the whole kit and caboodle all, you know, the same. Then I'm going to take some out to stuff in some potatoes, and I'm going to mix rice in with the rest of it. So that way my husband and I, we will both get the stuffed sweet potatoes, my kids will have it on rice. And then everybody's happy. See how fast that was to get that process? Like, that is just ridiculous warp super speed. I love it. All about the efficiency. Put some of this in the other one, because dude, this is way too full and I shouldn't even be trying to pack it that much, but whatever, we're gonna see what happens. And this thing just never disappoints. Totally overpacked it. It still did awesome. So you can chop yours as little or as much as you want to. I chop the crap out of it. But hey, I had my reasons. Beautiful. There we go. Now, let's see, where are we at? Let's slice up some cucumber. So I only needed 1/2 for the salad. I'm gonna cut a little more, because the thing is, if I'm already doing it, I might as well just keep doing it, and then we're gonna end up eating it this week. Kids love to have cucumber, just even for like, they love cucumber with hummus or just as a side dish. If they're not eating something else that's on their plate, it's kind of the thing that we offer. I feel like cucumber is just a way that as moms we can feel, or as parents, we can feel a little better when our kids refuse to eat any other vegetable. We can be like, oh, how about some cucumber? Because at least they're getting something green, right? Even though usually they nibble, so they don't get the rind. Whatever. You know what? We all feel good. They feel like they're winning. We feel like we're winning. It is just a winning food. Is it a vegetable? It's gotta be a vegetable, right? I don't know. I'm bad at the distinctions. I can't remember the things that make a fruit and a vegetable a vegetable. All I know is that they're all good for you. So eat up. So I do find that my cucumber stays better longer if I pack it so that it's kind of in the same way that it came. So if it's all in a row together. Fine if, I think that it just shares the moisture back and forth between the slices. Otherwise, I feel like it can dry out some. It might just be in my mind, but that feels like a true statement to me. Okay, I'm gonna mince up some garlic. So I have a garlic prep tool that I'm gonna be using for this. All right, what do we got here? We have like a total hodgepodge for sizes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 like little tiny ones that I'm tempted to just throw into it anyway, because then you have too much garlic. So, my garlic prep tool, it will mince or slice garlic, and then it all stores into this cute little container right here. I like using it when I'm mincing garlic ahead of time. Because then I can just take that chamber and put just a little bit of oil in it, and then I can save it for later. So, we ran out of our homegrown garlic, and such a crazy difference between the cloves that you get at the grocery store versus what you grow in your own garden, which it makes it sound like I'm a really good gardener, but garlic is the only thing that we grow. The reason we grow garlic is because it is the easiest one to grow. It's basically like, oh, I'm going to plant this thing and forget about it for the next 8 months. And that is exactly the kind of gardening I like. Oh, and this is a peeler that comes with the garlic prep tool, so it's just like a roll of silicone, but you put the garlic in and you just roll it, and then the skin just comes right off. So it takes one of the most frustrating parts of fresh garlic and it mitigates it for you. So this thing's super easy to use. There's one side that minces, one side that slices. Just put it in the top and just press down. There we go. So, take that bad boy out. Got a nice healthy portion of garlic there. I'm going to smush it down a little. So I really want to make sure that I don't want to have like a crap ton of extra oil in there. I mean, I'm fine with it. It's avocado oil. It's good for you, right? There we go. So you want just enough oil to cover the garlic. And then I'm just going to put it right back in there, and I'm putting it in the fridge just like that. All right. Shall we go on to level 2? Let's do it, shall we? I'm going to cut up some sun-dried tomatoes. I have about half a cup. You can ish this. Nothing wrong with ishing it. How big you cut it is up to you. I like mine cut up. Also, you could be getting your sun-dried tomato in oil. Maybe you don't need to cut it then. I always get this dried stuff because the ingredients. I'm a big fan of an ingredients list on the back of something, and the less ingredients, the happier I am. This is sun-dried tomatoes and salt. That is it. So that's the reason I like this, and especially since it's going in a slow cooker. Like, yes, they're dried now. They will rehydrate just fine. But I do like cutting them up. And And if you're curious, if you didn't see the brand, it's Aurora. Aurora is what I use for this because I have never found any other brand that had sun-dried tomatoes that were quite that simple. Not like simple. So, setting a timer for 10 minutes. Making some gluten-free croutons. Okay, you can buy your own gluten-free croutons if you want to. Okay, that is an easy approach. If you don't have gluten-free croutons available to you, making them is super, super, super simple. I will show you just how simple that is, and then you're going to wonder why you would ever buy croutons again. Okay. And of course, you can customize them, right? If you're doing your own, you can do whatever flavor croutons you want. Maybe you want to have Italian flavored. Maybe you want to have dill flavored. Maybe, I don't know, go wild. Go wild. You are only limited by your imagination and your family's ability to put up with that. Okay. So, cube up your bread, whatever size you want. You can use oil, salt, pepper, parsley, garlic if you want to, or you can use a flavored oil and just do it all at once. I have a garlic parmesan oil here that I'm just pouring some in there because that is going to be one and done. All the flavors that I need in there. Because I mean, really, what are croutons except for flavored toasted bread, okay? I could have put it on something other than stone, but whatever. It was in there. Okay, so there. I have it in the toaster oven. You can put it in the oven for a little bit if you prefer to do it that way. And that's it. That's all there is to making croutons. It takes like 5 seconds. I'm gonna put together some spices here for the gnocchi. So you can use chili flakes. I'm going to put my chili flakes on after. Would it be better if I cooked them in? Heck yes, it would be. But I want to make sure that my kids can enjoy it too. So do what you will with that. Okay, there we go. And these things, like, they're not hard. Mixing up the spices is not hard, but how much more convenient is it just to grab that little bowl and dump it in the morning versus trying to do it at the time, right? Like, trying to do things at supper time is not my prime time. Or putting things in a slow cooker, that means I want to get things done quickly. So I'm gonna grate up some Parmesan cheese. So this can serve for 2 of the meals. So do just whatever feels good. Cheese is something you measure with your heart. So this will be for the Mary Me gnocchi as well as the stuffed pepper skillet. Unless you're dairy free, then you don't have to worry about it. If you are lactose free, Parmesan cheese is naturally lactose free. Which is kind of nice. Any of the aged cheeses tend to be lactose free, so newer cheeses not so much. Aged cheeses, you are good to go. Okay, there we go. Where did I put the lid for that? The lid must be there somewhere. I like using this one for doing my Parmesan cheese. It's called a cup zester. I like it because the bottom compartment, you can just put a lid on it. It's very efficient storage for my fridge. We're going to, let's see, chop up some pecans. Some pecans for salad. Alright guys, I could use a knife, but I've been having some issues lately. Still having issues, so I'm going to make everything as easy on myself as I possibly can. Gonna shred up some cheese for the salad. You can use any kind of cheese that you want. If you want to use mozzarella, use mozzarella. If you want to use feta, use feta. Go wild, my friend. Go wild. Hey, we always have marble around the house, so I'm going marble. Is it the fanciest option? No. Is it the best tasting option? Who knows? However, it's an option that I always know is going to work. And my kids, they're still at that age where you give them feta or something like that and they're like, "Ee, what's this?" You know? And I am dairy free, so it's only, release the pressure on that. Go. Gotta go let the dog in. Cheese is done. Come on in. Alright, last thing we got for level 2 is making up some dressing. You can take a shortcut on this by just, you know, not making your own dressing. That is also very possible. So do what you want to do there. I find this dressing really easy to make. I like making my own dressings because once again, there's usually less ingredients in them. Then I can pick the ingredients that I know, that I trust. threw my Parmesan cheese right on the counter, not in the bag. Oops. Squirrel. Speaking of squirrels, I do want to make sure I get these into some water right away so that they don't keep on cooking, because I don't really want the eggs to have that, you know, that gray look on the inside. Gonna give a fluff to my rice. Check on my bacon. You know what? Bacon looks good too. Perfect. The most delicious smelling sizzle there is, isn't it? Let's see. Back to making the dressing. Super quick dressing to throw together, but it's really good. Ran out of maple syrup, so I'm using honey. Whatever, close enough. I looked in the cupboard today, I'm like, because we need to do a Costco run. That's what we seriously need. And I didn't want to pay the grocery store price for my maple syrup. I know. Pay for it or do honey. But that's the nice thing about meal planning. Like, you can adjust these things just a little bit and it's fine. Go. Now, if you feel like you're gonna need more dressing for salads, if you're like dressing heavy, then go wild. Guys, that is it. That is it. You are fully prepped for 3 meals. These are gonna come together so quick. And really, honestly, this week, just lean into that feeling. When you go to the fridge and you're like, I don't have to wonder what's for dinner. It's right here. I know exactly what I'm gonna have for dinner. Or when you throw it all together and you're like, well, that was it. Yes. Meal prep, it is self-care. It is such a good thing that you can do for yourself, for your nervous system, for your body, just all of the things. So lean into that feeling. Enjoy it. You deserve it. I thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.